Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Welcome in. Super excited to have you with us here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I am Caleb Hart. Joining me today for DriftCon After Dark, he is the destroyer of tires. He is Super Ben White, the voice of drift here in the Northwest.
Super Ben White?
Super.
All right. I was once known as Danger, but I have evolved into my super form.
You want to be Danger? You want to be Super? You can be super dangerous.
Oh, no. I feel pretty super right now.
Let's do it. It's DriftCon After Dark. I've been circling this one since basically we started doing the show early on in the year, our third drift event here on Home Track Heroes. This is going to be cool. We have got some of our normal drift event. Looks like we got some Team Tandem stuff coming up later in the program as well, or what else we got?
Oh, dude, all kinds of fun were had at DriftCon After Dark. I mean, we had our Double Eight Showdown. It's the second consecutive year that we've done this, and it is some of the best competition that we have in the Pacific Northwest. It is the round 4 of the Bardahl series as well, combined with this Double Eight Showdown. So what we're going to see here, we completely forgone like the traditional qualifying.
Yep.
And so we set these cars up in a actual car show qualifying. And so they were judged by Andrew Voon. I'm sorry, I'm going to mess up everyone's name tonight. But he judged these cars based on their build and the execution of a theme versus line, angle, style, 2 non-consecutive runs. So it forced these guys to make their cars more aesthetically pleasing, and man, did these guys step up to the bat. Like, I mean, look at these cars right out the gate here.
Corey Kieser was the guy in the multi-blue, black, lots of stuff, flipping the donut over there in what's turn 1 on our circle track, as we're going to get a replay of this first run. The white E92 BMW was Frank Mirabelli, so it's Kieser versus Mirabelli, and this is the replay of their first run, and you can see Kieser starting us off with quite the launch, and look at that angle getting into the first corner.
He was very excited after practice about how fast his car was going out there. I mean, he's got turbo LS power under the hood of that FDRX7, and man, does he rip in that thing. I think he's been out of the car for about 4 months, but you couldn't tell it with him out there on track. I mean, he was shredding tires, and look at that big smoke line, big angle. What more can you ask for from Corey Kieser?
So now that they're out there and competing, as we're going to flip this, so each group gets a run where one car is the lead and one car is the trail. Kieser's job on this second run is to mirror Mirabelli as best he can throughout this course.
Exactly, 100% correct. So we got driver A and driver B. So right now, Frank Mirabelli is driver B, and this is run 2 of this battle. So he's going to lead the way, and he wants to navigate this course correctly. That's the line. He wants to throw a bunch of style in it. He wants to whip that car sideways, have a bunch of smoke, stuff like that, and get the car as sideways as possible through the predetermined route of the course.
So taking a look at the second run, it was a good run for Mirabelli. Kieser with a very good mirror on that. Now the judges come in, as we're going to see the replay, and they judge based on the things that we just talked about. How did you do as far as your line went, your angle went, your style went when you were lead, and how well did you mirror when you were following? The winner is judged as after both of the runs are complete, and they will move on in this bracket-style tournament. So we're going to get couple more seconds of a look with Mirabelli leading and Kieser following. And we're going to send things down. Derek's our man on track to find out who picked up the win. All right, that was the signal given for one more time, so judges couldn't choose between Kieser and Mirabelli in round number 1. So they're going to go it again. Once again, it'll be Kieser leading. He is on the outside of the back straightaway to start, and Mirabelli's going to follow him getting into this first set of corners.
Yeah, so it was too close to call, so we're going to send these guys out again. Brand new battle here. So we see Corey Kieser back in that lead position, sending that car as sideways as possible through this course, doing a good job trying to get out to that outer zone. You see them denoted as the painted yellow boxes on track. We want to see the back tires in those zones when they're rear zones, and we want to see them nose against it when they're front clipping zones, which I don't think we had any on this track, which made awesome opportunities for good tandems.
Yeah, Kieser was all kinds of sideways throughout the entirety of the run. Look at the damage that he does to those tires on this beautiful RX-7. As we'll get one more look again at the lead run, this time for Corey Kieser, the second try to differentiate these two.
Yeah, so what's really cool is when we have these one more time battles, and you see it right side by side, so you get to judge them right next to each other. Frank Mirabelli knew that he had to step up his game a little bit, and you could see he was trying to gain a little bit better proximity in the chase position, absolutely achieved that. So now we're going to reverse the order. Frank's going to lead the way. Let's see what he lays down with the fresh air in front of him, and Corey Kieser's going to chase him down.
As far as this this course goes, Ben. Super technical course, a lot of fun course. How would you describe it?
The way that I would describe it is I like how it seems like it progressively gets faster for these drivers. So, right after initiation, there is not a lot of technicality in this course per se. There's not a lot of slowdowns. There's not a lot of changes in speed. It's all just pedal to the metal and just steer the car around and, try and fulfill all the requirements from the judges.
All right, let's see who gets the W. Coming up in this next one is the replay from our drone shot. We got some great drone operators today. We'll give them all a shout out a little bit later on in the program here. But I love this viewpoint because this really almost gets you as close to the cockpit as you can be without being on the course with the drivers themselves.
I mean, we feel like the third car in tandem here, right? So we see these guys right next to each other. Look at them. Both in frame right here. Corey Keyser absolutely applying the pressure as he comes through the power alley. And, man, that's going to be tough to beat. But let's check it out with Derek and see if we wrap it out with one of these drivers.
All right, Corey. It took one more time, but had a great battle. Frank, why don't you just talk about both runs?
Yeah, so I've been basically studying the course layout that we got sent, and I didn't realize there was a outer clip or touch and go in the middle between 1 and 3, so I was not even looking at that at all. So that's what happened on the last run. I wasn't anywhere near it. Then Frank told me there was a touch and go or a second outer clip before you hit the wall, so I just corrected, and here we are.
All right, who would you like to thank for getting here?
Friends, family, all my sponsors, and everybody that comes out, because if it wasn't for the spectators, these events wouldn't be what they are. So everybody that comes out here, it just makes it.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, we move on. Keyser gets the win. Carlton McDonald, the red Mustang on the outer lane. Inside, Cole Townsend, the black E92 BMW, as we begin this semifinal for Bracket A.
So this event took place on Saturday. On Friday, we had a little bit of practice for these drivers to get just a little bit more track time. And unfortunately for Cole Townsend, his actual competition car, he blew the motor in that thing. But fortunate for us, he's got a practice car, and he brought it out here. He's in the black E92 BMW and absolutely chasing down Carlton McDonald in his competition car, that red Ford Mustang out front.
They are inches apart coming in and through those turns. What a brilliant trail run there by Townsend, keeping up with McDonald, and we'll get another look at it from the overhead view. That was incredible.
Yeah, Carlton McDonald is super rad in the lead position because he is driven to achieve like all the judges' criteria, right? He wants to fulfill all that criteria as best as possible. And what's dope about Cole Townsend in the chase position is that he has no self-preservation mechanism. So he has no problem getting as close to that lead driver as possible. And look at that, cutting through the smoke line as they cross the finish line side by side.
Oh, that was brilliant watching it through a second time. Now let's flip-flop them and see what Townsend can do as the lead here as they go to battle. And a nice takeoff there from Townsend. McDonald into chase mode.
Yeah, so Cole Townsend, like I said, this is his practice car. So he's down about half the horsepower. And oh, you see right there, he's down even more than half the horsepower. So we talked to him about what transpired there. Now, he's the lead driver. He's supposed to set the pace, right? And we talked earlier about how this course, there's not really a whole bunch of opportunities to slow these cars down. They shouldn't. They should be accelerating the whole time. Well, Cole Townsend's car, for some reason, went into limp mode, cut a bunch of power, and so where he was supposed to be on throttle and where Carlton was anticipating him to be on throttle, he was not able to achieve that. You see the smoke line disappear. There's contact there. Cole Townsend straightens out, and that's a big disadvantage for him as we go to the judges' call.
All right, so walk me through what just happened on that run there.
Well, we're going through the transition, and he slowed up pretty good. I thought I was giving him plenty of space, but apparently I wasn't, and I'm not quite sure how that went, why it went that way, but oh well, I'll take it.
All right, who do you want to thank for getting you out here?
I'd like to thank J2 Racing, AccuTap Gaming, Drift American, and Jabe's Printing and Designs.
All right, congratulations.
We're ready for our next round. Congratulations, Carlton McDonald. This is Alex Lindsay. He is in the S14s, 240SX.
That's raspberry. I wrote raspberry on your sheet.
Raspberry, thank you.
There's a silent P in there.
We're men. We don't believe in shades of colors.
Absolutely not. No, it's pink.
It's purple.
Call it as it is.
And Jalen
now there's a disagreement.
And Jalen Vick is in the gray BMW.
Yes. So Alex Lindsay, man, this build, he's taken a bit of a hiatus from drifting to achieve this build, and man, is it a beautiful car. The pink purple raspberry S14, turbo KA power under the hood, and man, does he shred. He's another one of those guys who throws caution to the wind and is ready to just put it on everyone's door, put the car where it's supposed to be, and we see it here on display in the lead position. So he does a very good job of using his momentum to get into outer one, and as he transitions, behind him is Jalen Vick. So Jalen Vick's got basically stock power under the hood of that E46 BMW, and what that means for him is he has to be very smooth on all of his inputs, whether it's steering or whether it's throttle. And so he does a good job in the chase position, maintaining momentum behind what can usually be a faster car, a higher horsepower car. And so now they're going to change the positions. Jalen Vick is going to lead the way in that gray E46 BMW, and Alex Lindsay is going to chase him down.
Are we going to mark Lindsay down at all for having different colored wheels?
No, that's dope. That's part of the aesthetic, right? So I mean, that's kind of like Japanese street style is having, you know, the different fronts and rears. You know, it's kind of like wearing different pairs of shoes. You know, just
all right. All the cool kids are doing it, I guess.
That's what the cool kids are doing.
All
Alex
right.
Lindsay's one of them cool kids. He's got the raspberry S14, showing you how it's done right there with a little bit of J style in the chase position here. So we'll switch to the drone footage. We got Jonathan J and Moonman FPV piloting these drones, being that third car in the tandem here. And let's check this out as Alex Lindsay chases down Jalen Vick.
And you can see Vick getting a lot of angle here at the start and trying to get her a little bit sideways, and Lindsay doing a really good job of sticking right there with him, less than a foot apart at parts of this racetrack.
Absolutely. One of the common misconceptions is that Jalen is actually going to be slower in his car throughout the duration of the course, and that's not the thing. It's just that if he gets in a sticky situation, he doesn't have the horsepower crutch to dig himself out, and let's see who digs himself out and tries to find a win.
And it looks like we are going to send one of them on. No interview here. As one more time, maybe?
It was a
one
more time. Yeah, so
we're
it was,
not going to see it right away, though.
It was too close to call, and so I think one of them had to, you know, change tires on the back of the car. I mean, we had a beautiful day, tons of tire smoke, shredding them up. And speaking of shredding them up, we got Tyler Mayer in the Racer on Rails, the Pulse for Health S13, out leading the way against Spencer Bolt in the Black C6 Corvette.
This is going to be fun. These guys, we have seen them absolutely shred here at Evergreen Speedway during our drift events. Mayer again, the blue and white 240, and then the black vet, that is Bolt, as those guys are laying down quite the rubber patch here through this first run.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Tyler Mayer, what can we say about him? He's a sewing machine out there. He can do the same thing every time in that lead position and puts his car in all the right places. And that's got to be like a huge confidence booster in the chase position for a guy like Spencer Bolt. He knows who he's going against. He knows Tyler Mayer is one of the big dogs out here. And so he is confident as all hell, putting it on his door, trying to get as close as possible. But, I mean, he's still a car and a half back. Tyler Mayer is just shredding through this course.
We should mention we are into Bracket B now. So this is part of the Bracket B Buster guys. As second run begins, Bolt on the outside, Mayer on the inside.
I mean, we could explain the whole bracketing system, but then our viewers might just go cross-eyed for like a minute and a half. Let's just enjoy the drifting as it is. We'll check out these drivers as they go, and we'll kind of inform them how the day progresses. And right now what's progressing is Spencer Bolt out in the lead position, but look, it's almost like he's getting pushed through the course by Tyler Mayer right now, who's applying the pressure in that S13, sticking right to his door, and finishing side by side, crossing the finish line. Are you kidding me?
I would imagine Spencer Bolt's going to have nightmares of Mayer right up on his door as he goes to bed here at night. Let's take a second look at this one. And from the very beginning, it's like he's looking in the mirror. He has a whole lot of black and pink and blue and white all right up next to him.
Oh, you know, every time he closes his eyes after this battle, he's just hearing turbo flutter, the stu-du-du-du-du of Tyler Mayer with that Jay-Z power under the hood of that S13. I mean, making it look good. And look at that, just sawing at the wheel, just doing little corrections, massaging it in, and finishing side by side. Man, what a tandem battle.
Well, another TV show, another time to interview you. You seem to always come up big in our TV show. What do you think you did to win that battle there?
I knew he was super consistent, so I trusted him, so I just put it as close as I could to him. I'm not sure if I touched him, but it was just awesome. I'm not sure how I got past the first battle, though. I don't know if he messed up behind me, but Ian had way more car than me, and he was just pulling away, so I was like all bummed out, but then I won, so it's always hard to get past the first battle, and after that, nothing matters, just turn it on, and that's when the fun starts.
All right, who do you want to thank to get you out here?
Racer on Rails, Pulse for Health, and J2 Racing, Tire Streets for all my tires, and Speedy Signs for the livery, and that's it, man.
All right, we'll see you in the next round.
It's DriftCon After Dark, presented by Bardall here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Caleb Hart, Ben White. We go back to the track. It is Bracket B and a rerun, so to speak, on this one, as we're going to get Alex Lindsay versus Jalen Vick at least one more time.
Yes, sir. I mean, it was too close to call on the last one between Alex Lindsay and Jalen Vick, so judges want to see him go one more time, and quite frankly, I don't know who to put my money on in this battle.
We've seen a lot of Jalen Vick at Evergreen Speedway over the years, as he has really become one of the guys that pushes drift around the Northwest, trying to get it not just out here, but to other tracks around the area and such like that. And looking for a good run, a little bit like bringing a knife to a gunfight as far as power is concerned, but see if he can put on the style that he needs to move forward as we are up and running here on our next shot.
Yeah, like we said, he's a little bit down on horsepower as Jalen Vick. Stock horsepower under the hood of that BMW. And, oh, man, crossing the finish line. It looks like he's straightened out there. So I don't know if that's where a little bit extra horsepower could have helped him out. But let's check it out on this replay here. So this is a brand new battle, one more time battle. And Alex Lindsay is out in front. He is the higher seated driver in that beautiful looking S14. And look at that. It seems like he pulls a little bit of a gap. But, oh, no, Alex Lindsay right now, he's got no tire. He's got no tire on his left rear.
Did he debead that?
He debeaded that tire, and he's still continuing on in this battle.
Whoa.
But what's wild is behind him, now Jalen Vick also straightened out, but there is one more run to this battle. So, I mean, we didn't have any 5-minute timeout allotments here at this Double H showdown. So Alex Lindsay decided to just send it. He's got half as much rubber on the back, and he's trying to keep up with Jalen Vick in that E46.
Well, somebody's going to be ordering new tire or new wheels after this weekend. We all know they'll get new tires. As here we go, and yeah, look at Lindsay. Bare metal to the ground, sticking right with him. Impressive.
So you saw him cut the course a little bit there, and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it, but he's doing what he's got to do to maintain proximity, and he kept the car in drift as he crosses the finish line. I mean, full man points for Alex Lindsay on that one. Just unreal, like one of the greatest displays of drifting that we've seen here at a DriftCon event.
So you're saying that even if he was one of those guys that drank like a hard seltzer of some kind, we would allow him to keep his man card after that run?
Oh, dude, I'm pretty sure he just, like, crushes the seltzer on his head, like, stone cold chugs it, and then, like, recycles them like a responsible adult, too. So there's nothing to not like about Alex Lindsay, and especially on this run. Look at him. He's spitting sparks in the daylight and keeping it door-to-door with Jalen Vick in front of him. I mean, this is the sickest view that we could possibly get of this, and, I mean, it's all for our viewing pleasure here on Home Track Heroes.
That's impressive. All right. And your winner is...
Okay, so we might stop the show here because I'm pretty sure everybody thinks this is the coolest thing that's ever happened. So you get notified that your tire's coming off the bead here on the back, and you're just like, I'm going. Just talk to us about it.
Just gotta send it, man. I'm like, let's go. I was like, it blew in the middle of the track, and I kept going, and I was like, oh, I have good grip. So I was like, I think I can do another lap. And then it was like on the run up, we're like jumping and entered in, and it felt good on the right tire. And then we transitioned, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. We made it through.
All right, who do you want to thank for that tire and getting you out here?
Oh, I don't know. Just like, I don't know. Everybody that's helped me along the way, the paint with garage, with shop space, just everything. Like, I can't thank everybody enough, like it's cool to be out here again.
All right, we'll see you in the next round.
All right, so pretty wild display there from Alex Lindsay. I mean, he had one tire in the back, but you know what? He went back out on track, took a gamble, and it paid off.
I'll tell you what, you want to go gamble Angel of the Winds Casino Resort? They got sports betting. Think you can pick a winner? Prove it at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle, exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington. Bracket A final, Keezer in the multicolored car, the Red Machine's Carlton McDonald as they whip through the course.
All right, these are two competition spec cars, all right? So Corey Keezer has turbo OS power under the hood of that FDRX7. Carlton McDonald, big Windsor stroker under the hood of that new Edge Ford Mustang. Both these guys are trying to take that next step. They want to be professional drifters, and they have the cars to absolutely do it. So a very evenly matched battle here as we see on track with both car and driver. And Corey Keezer, right now, he's the only one in frame, but you see that red Ford Mustang nosing in of Carlton McDonald, trying to stick right next to door with his competitor here. Just an unreal battle from these two. Corey Keezer, look at that. He has just set it and forget it out front. And Carlton McDonald ends up finishing side by side with him at the end of run one.
So we should mention here as they flip positions for round number 2 in this one that the drivers that make the final are moving on. Both the winner of the final and the second of the final. This final run in the bracket is for seeding coming into later on in the show.
That is correct. So we have a total of 4 brackets. We use letters to denote them. So we have A, B, C, and D, and this is bracket A. Now, these are the final 2 drivers of bracket A. All right, so whoever wins this is going to be the higher seed as we move into our final 8 of the Double 8 Showdown. Why is it called Double 8, you ask? Because we're running 2 different course layouts. This is one of 2, and we're going to run it until we have 8 total drivers, and then we're going to switch it up on these guys.
Keezer loops it out there at the end as he has been doing. What another fantastic run. And I'll tell you what, you got to pick a winner between the 2 of these, but neither of these guys are losers. Another fantastic round.
No, absolute blast to watch these guys drive. It's been a while since we've seen Carlton McDonald here at Evergreen Speedways. He spent a lot of time in the Great White North, but you know what? This is right across the street from his house, so he said, you know what? Might as well come show up and see what we can do out here in competition.
So if he's been spending time in the Great White North, would that mean this is the winner of bracket A?
A?
About to find out.
All right, he was definitely probably the most smoke out of everybody here. Kind of tell people what it's like driving through that smoke in competition.
You just got to stay on his door, and if you're in the pocket, it doesn't even bother you. But with him, he's in a higher gear, which normally I would be too, but it slows your car down. So that was my way of winning that, is staying in a lower gear so the car's faster, so he can't get up on me. So the smoke is cool, but it slows your car down.
Okay, so we're switching courses on your next run. Do you have on that for how it sets up?
Way better. I'm way more comfortable on the layout number 2, so I'm going to get better from here on out. I did not like that layout, so I'm glad I got through it.
All right, sounds good.
You're going to see some shit.
Bracket A final is done. Bracket B final, Alex Lindsay taking on Tyler Mayer. Outside, inside, and one of the things I wanted to ask you about, you see, as you saw the Keezer car sitting there with Derek interviewing him, the camber that thing had in the right front tire. I'm assuming the left looks very similar, but what's the reasoning for that as they get into this round?
So as the front wheels, as they sweep through their total steering angle, you'll see, you know, each driver's different, but as they sweep through and they get to angle where the car's happy usually, that contact patch will actually be dead flat. So whereas you see maybe like 4 to 7 degrees of camber while it's static and the wheels are pointing forward, when it's at angle, probably about 45 degrees of steering angle, you'll see the contact patch is flat. So it'll be about 0 degrees of camber, usually on that lead wheel.
And here's a really great indication from that shot right there. You look at how those things are tilted, and as far as they're steering left and right in them, they are getting all the usage out of those front tires they can possibly get.
Yes, Tyler Mayer's just steering right to the quarter panels of Alex Lindsay, but man, look at these competitors side by side crossing the finish line. Sick first run, and now we're going to reverse the order, and Tyler Mayer is going to lead the way, and Alex Lindsay managed to keep both tires on the back of his car. So he should be something to be reckoned with in run number 2.
Yeah, it's overrated, right?
Overrated. You don't need 2 tires, not where we're going.
Oh, well, through the inside. Beautiful Back to the Future reference as they whip their way in and through the course. Mayer rolling around the outside to the inside. Lindsay giving him everything he can handle here. And another brilliant drifting run.
Yeah, Tyler Mayer, like I said, sewing machine, same thing every time out front, so you know what you're going to get. And it's going to be phenomenal every time. So let's see it from the drone. And Alex Lindsay, I don't know, maybe the right strategy was to have one wheel on the back, because you see as they transition here, he comes up a little bit shallow, has a little bit too much grip, has to grab e-brake extendo drifto, and finds himself a little bit shallow, not making it to that outer zone. And Tyler Mayer, you know he's making it to those outer zones. He's putting the whole back of his car right in that yellow box, right next to those cones, and crossing the finish line like, what, this is drifting. This is no big deal, dude.
And your winner is...
All right. So get the win. What do you think pushed you through in the battle there?
Alex is a friend from a real long time. We've been driving together for years. We did Drift Week together. I knew I could trust him. His car's super nice, and I didn't want to hurt his car, but that was super fun. And I think we'll probably get to battle later on today if we both do well.
So obviously this is the unique event. So you switch courses. What are your thoughts on the next course? Like, how does it fit you as a driver?
I got to practice it yesterday, so I'm pretty confident. Now that the track is actually painted, I'm not worried. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
All right, sounds good.
I'm glad.
We are rolling in and through. It is bracket C now. Into the semifinals of this. Casey Ferris is in the white and black GT86. Alex Steins, the blue E46 BMW, as we'll get going to bracket C.
So Casey Ferris actually has Honda K-Series power under the hood of that GT86. He also slapped a Shanghai Swirly Boy on that thing, making about 400 horsepower. And he's out in the lead position, putting it to good use. I think this is his second competition with that car. And you know what? He's one of those guys who stepped up his aesthetics greatly for the Double H Showdown. You see that brand new livery on that car, the white, the black, the bronze, beautiful looking GT86. And behind him is a regular traffic-looking E46 BMW, but he's slanging it as Alex Steins.
So taking a look, and you're right, the aesthetics of the GT86 are absolutely beautiful. Nice job by Ferris as he wheels it through the course, putting on a little smoke show for us. Beautiful job getting inside zone and outside zone. Just gets it in with the rear tires. I think that's a pretty good run for Ferris, setting a high bar.
You know what? He set a high bar. He had a good lead run. And right behind him, Alex Steins had actually a very good chase run as well. So as we reverse the order, there's no clear distinction on, no advantage for either of these drivers. Yep. I mean, it's up in the air for these judges.
Well, and you have said this here on the program here before. The better the lead run, the bigger potential for a grid chase run.
Absolutely, yeah, and Casey Ferris did a very good job, but look at Alex Steins right now. He's actually a stuntman in Canada, so he is very good at putting a car where it needs to be, when it needs to be there, and look at that.
Wow.
Filling those zones, cross the finish line. Oh, Casey Ferris snapping to an over-rotation just before the finish line.
Stinks for him, but I think that gives us our definitive winner here coming up in this. Let's take a second look at it. Replay inbound in a matter of mere seconds.
Oh, yeah, big-time advantage going to the judge's decision for Mr. Alex Steins, but look at that. Good initiation from him, getting to that outer zone, using momentum. So much like Jalen Vick, Alex Steins has stock horsepower under the hood of this BMW. It doesn't mean that the vehicle speed is slower. It just means that he has to be more smooth with his throttle inputs and all the inputs, the steering inputs. You see him left foot braking, trying to slow the vehicle speed down, keeping the wheel speed up, doing what he has to do, getting the car in the right position. And with the judge's decision coming up, I think it looks pretty good for him.
All right, so obviously he looped it there on his chase run. Did you think you had him before that, or were you worried?
I think I was at a deficit. I kind of got caught a little bit in the smoke and in the sun there, and I cut line. I wasn't chasing him very good. So that was kind of I got lucky there for sure.
All right.
He beat me last time we went, so we're 1-1 now, so that's good.
All right. Who do you like to thank for getting you here?
I want to thank my sponsors, Rain City Motorsports, my good friend and mentor, Gaston Morrison, and my wife and kid at home who support what I do.
All right. Congratulations. We'll see you in the next round.
Matt Rusecki and Chad Wilson coming up here in the Bracket C semifinal. Rusecki's got the blue 350Z, silver 350Z for Wilson. It's the 350C on 350Z violence coming up here on Home Track Heroes.
Absolutely, but a little different build, ideas behind here. So Matt Rusecki, this is a competition drift car. He's another one of those guys who wants to take the next step, wants to become a professional drifter and go to the Formula Drift circuit. Now, he's got LS V8 power under the hood of that blue 350Z, and behind him, Chad Wilson actually has supercharged VQ power under the hood of his. So two different kind of ideas and ways to go about it, but, I like the results on track.
All right, let's see a second look at it. Once again, from the drone shot, as you can see, whoo, boy, initiating hard coming into that first set of corners was Rusecki in the blue machine.
Yeah, one of the things they covered in the driver's meeting is a very short run-up to initiation. So you can't throw a huge feint in there, and Matt Rusecki did about as big of a feint as he could to get the momentum of the car going the way that he wanted to in that lead position. Looking very good. And Chad Wilson, he had a decent chase run, but right at the end there, he kind of jammed on the brakes and didn't look as fluid as the judges might have liked.
And they may mark him down for that. We'll find out. He's got to make a really good lead run coming up. Move Rusecki into chase as the green lights turn on.
All right, good initiation from Chad, but look at that. Matt Rusecki is already getting aggressive in the chase position as Chad Wilson transitions, and this is where Matt Rusecki smells blood. He's going to dive in for the kill, and look at that, basically rubbing tire on the door. You see him left foot braking again, slowing the vehicle down but keeping the wheel speed up, trying to maintain that proximity and just applying the pressure the whole way through the course is Mr. Matt Rusecki against Chad Wilson.
Feels like he just locked down a win there pretty hard as he was right with Wilson the whole way. Never let him get separate, never let him show off really and get comfortable because Rusecki was there the whole time.
No, in the lead position, you don't want to necessarily run away, but you want to have a little bit of gap between you and that chase driver, and Matt Rusecki did not make it so. He's got that enemy's 350Z right there, door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel, and just applying the pressure. It's so immense. Hearing that V8 behind you, wide open throttle, Matt Rusecki just took it from the judge's hands, and he said, nah, this is mine, dude. I'm going to the next round.
All right, Matt. Obviously, you got two cars, very similar cars. So, looks like, a lot comes down to driver and stuff like that. What do you think kind of pushed you forward through here?
I just gave it my all. Zestino tires, I got to shout them out. I couldn't be as consistent as I am without having this rear tire on the car. I think that's really what wins it.
Who else would you like to thank to getting you to the track here today?
My fiance for supporting me, obviously, and letting me do this. My friends, they're in the pit. We actually killed an alternator in team tandem. They quickly got it swapped out, got me back on grid, and we're just here killing it, having fun.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you in the next round.
We're back here on Home Track Heroes. Thanks for tuning in on a Sunday, letting us entertain you. He is the super, the danger, the whatever we want to say. He's Ben White. I'm Caleb Hart. Having a bunch of fun. It's DriftCon After Dark presented by Bardol. Bracket C coming up. We're going to start things off with the finals and two very, very talented drivers getting after it here to start us off.
Yeah, two very talented drivers from north of the border, both Matt Rusecki and Alex Steins, residing from the Great White North, from Canada, my homestead once upon a time. But Matt Rusecki now leading the way. Both these guys are going to move on into our final 8, but we need to seed them correctly. So we need to find a winner between these two to see who is going to be the higher seeded driver going into the final 8.
Yeah, Rusecki is coming through, and boy, that car doesn't seem like it's slanging around quite the same it was on that first run. I don't know if I'm just seeing things.
No, he seems like he's coming up a little bit shallow, and this is something that we're going to want to go to the drone footage to evaluate correctly. But, a lot of stuff happens as we go throughout the day. You see the shadow from the grandstands rearing its head over the track, changing track temperature. So I don't know if that's what affected Matt Rusecki. I don't know if he's just getting too stoked. He's like, I'm in the final 8. But it's like, yo, you got to win this battle, and you got to get yourself higher seeded to give yourself a better chance. He didn't get out into that. I think it was like outer 3 at this point. I don't know. Lots of outer zones. I can't count that high. And you see, you'd like to get him both tires into those yellow boxes. So he's not quite fulfilling the requirements, as we know Matt Rusecki to do so. And so Alex Steins, now he's going to lead the way. Let's see if he does a better job in the lead position.
Now, the flip side of that, it's not like Steins was super close in proximity on that first run. We didn't see a ton of mirroring going on, so this one is still fairly well open.
It is still fairly well open. Yeah, he wasn't in frame in the drone footage, but that's not to say, I mean, these drone guys are so close. I mean,
yep.
It's wild to watch that. It's so cool that we have that footage, but look at this. Matt Rusecki knows that he wasn't as good as he could have been on that first run, and look at that, sticking to the door of Alex Steins in the second run, chase position, basically pushing him through the entirety of this course.
Ooh, this one's too tough to call for me. Now, granted, I'm amateur drifting judge going on here, but at the same time, I think this one could go either way. Let's see what happens in the replay view of this.
Well, we had 3 veteran judges here with Mitch McGarvey, John Bernstad, and Patrick Heald. So they're the ones who are making all the official decisions here. And you know what? I don't like being in their shoes. I don't like doing that judging stuff. But these guys did a fantastic job today. I mean, lots of good calls. But this one I left it all up to them. I wasn't even coming close to this.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I think somebody's gonna win. Then I thought. So what do you think pushed you forward in the judges' eyes?
I've been watching him run, and I feel like he's bouncing off the limiter in second. Matt's a great driver, don't get me wrong. We're on the same team up in Canada, but I feel like he wasn't filling the zones well at all, and it made it very difficult for me to catch up to him, even if I was cutting line. And I just felt like my lead run, I was everywhere I needed to be, and it gave him an opportunity to get on my door. You know, it could have gone either way, but I think that's why I won.
All right, so obviously this is a different competition, so we switched to a different course. What are your thoughts on the next course as far as how does it fit you as a driver and your car?
You know, I think I'm the lowest power left in the comp, and there's a lot of transitions, so I think it's going to be good for me. It's going to give me a shot to really kind of dive in there if I can, and yeah, I'm excited.
All right, sounds good. Moving on.
Onwards we move. Bracket D is where we start now. Outside, Robin Foster. He's got the white BMW. And Jace Habak. It is the black.
Jace Habak.
240SX. Habak.
All right, I think I'm there.
We
so
got
Robin
this.
Foster, he's in that white E30 BMW. He's got turbo V8 power in the engine bay. It's not under the hood because he has no hood. But it's a Lexus V8. It's a 1UZ with a turbo on it, and he's trying to get that thing spinning, but look at that. Jace Habak is right there, door to door, pushing him through the course in that beautiful S13.
I got to remind myself here, didn't we see a Foster versus Habak battle earlier on in the year where Foster kind of little engine that could and beat Habak? I'm trying to remember.
Dude, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so I'm completely lost. I'm gonna defer to you on that. That's probably the case. And so maybe Habak has a little bit of a bone to pick here. He's like, I'm not letting this E30 BMW take me out of competition. And look at that. He is almost legitimately pushing Robin Foster through the entirety of this course. Fun to see, and you could tell that Jace has really stepped his game up.
You had oatmeal with maple flavor, and it's the official breakfast of Canadians everywhere. As we're ready for round number 2, Habak on the outside. To the inside is Foster. We're off and running.
And look at that, Foster trying to be real aggressive right there on initiation. Let's see if he can maintain it through this course as Jace. He is very known for this smoke line. He keeps that skinny pedal down and develops a little bit of a gap between himself and his competitor. Robin Foster is playing catch-up now, kind of like the chips from the Great White North. But, you know, that's what I mostly have for breakfast. But Jace Habak, look at him. Big angle crossing the finish line. That's sick to see. That's what we want to see, and that's what's going to get him a W. Now let's see it in the replay.
Taking a second look at it as the big initiation. Little faint, big counter steer, and lots of smoke coming through the first couple corners.
Yeah, Jace is one of the guys who last year, when the Double Eight Showdown was announced, when the qualifying format was announced, he stepped his game up. He brought this livery to this car, made it look beautiful, and the only thing that looks better than the car is his driving right now. Lock to lock, through the power alley, and keeping that smoke line all the way to Derek with our decision.
All right, I'll move in through the smoke here. All right, it's not unusual to talk to you on one of these shows. So, just talk us through that run with Foster. Your chase run was super good. To start off with, that had to put a lot of pressure on him.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting to drive with Robin. I haven't had a chance yet, but I knew he's a good driver. I knew I had to show up. And he put on a really killer lead, so I was able to tuck in the pocket real nice. He was real smooth, so I was able to get close without touching him and trying to put on a good show for the fans.
All right, who would you like to thank for getting out here?
Oh, I got to thank my whole crew, First Air Motorsports, my family, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa. My grandma came up from Portland. My uncle came over from Chelan. I got all kinds of support this weekend.
All right, well, we'll see you in the next round.
Havoc wins. Let's move on to the battle of the 240s. John Daniel on the outside, and it is Junior Chun on the inside.
Yeah, so right here is the past 3 years of grassroots champions, all right? John Daniel was champion in, it was 22 and 21, and Junior Chun is our latest grassroots champion. Both members of the Goon Squad, but John Daniel, he is the higher-seated driver. He is leading the way first, and he is putting down a heater of a lead run.
How do you even give somebody the higher seed when we were judging on aesthetics on the front run? Judge likes blue better than pink, I guess?
Blue better than pink. Maybe John had some better wheels on his car. Maybe he had fewer cracks. Maybe the judge is an epileptic and he didn't like the strobe lights on Junior Chun's car. But at any rate, I mean, John Daniel's out front. He's got the flames up top. He is the blue goon. He is leading the way. But, man, look at that angle from him. I mean, he blew my mind all day with his driving. He was out here for the Double Eight Showdown. He was out there for Team Tandem. And he was hucking the car during our drift games, which we'll see a little bit about later. But right now, it's all about that lead run from him and what Junior Chun's going to respond with.
Now, this event is called DriftCon After Dark, and you can see the shadows getting long. We're not getting too far away from turning the lights on and doing things underneath the big top, so to say. Let's flip them. Chun this time on the lead, Daniel chasing him.
Man, and so we're going to have to take another look at that. But Junior Chun on initiation bobbles it, and he bobbled it so hard that he's got the active arrow now going. Okay, he does not have DRS activated. He's got all the downforces in the back, and so now he's going to shut the hatch, DRS activated, crossing the finish line. But John Daniel right there with him. He's not going to get stuck in that dirty air.
Man, I would give him extra style from flipping the hatch open on that one. That was cool. As let's get a look at the second run. Bartle Manufacturing, located in Seattle, your world leader in automotive lubricants with oils, additives, and lubricants for your car, truck, boat, or motorized toy. Pick the brand racers around the world rely on. Bartle, celebrating over 82 years in business and operating in 90 countries, make Bartle your brand.
All right, now that corporate's happy, we saw on initiation that Junior Chun was about to go too deep. He backed off it, bobbled. Unfortunately, that's not the smoothest in the lead position. It's going to weigh against him when it goes to the judges' decision, which we're going to now.
Okay, so there was a lot going on there on both runs actually, but obviously, so kind of talk about that first initiation on that last run, kind of what happened there.
I don't know. It felt pretty good, but it was coming in a little bit shallow, so I had to, try to get it out into the zone a little bit. It worked out pretty good, but yeah, the car's just a little grippier than I usually run it. So.
All right, who do you like to thank for getting out here today?
My fiance Danielle, all Goon Squad, all my boys, Casey Tufts for getting me this engine built and tuned and been great. And yeah.
All right, we'll see you the next round.
So in the lead position, your job is to set the pace, right? So we saw Junior Chun, he was going a little bit too deep, And if he didn't back up throttle, he would have wadded his pink goon car up. We don't want to see that. He backed off, and that's why John Daniel actually straightened out in the chase position, but it was actually Junior's fault. So Wade against Junior, John Daniel gets the win and finds himself in the final of Bracket D here up against Jace Havoc.
All right, Havoc again chasing Daniel, leading this time and through. Big smoke as they loop their way into what is our figure 8 course on the normal paces, and another beautiful mirrored run here by Havoc in the chase position. He is on kill today.
Unbelievable run from Havoc. I mean, he's been running the Spec D series up north all year and has come down, and man, you can tell that he has just been on kill all year, and he has it set much the same here. I don't think that dial moves for him. So you see him dive in here. John Daniel putting down a very smooth lead run, tapping the left foot brake, getting the car set, and Jace just going in for the kill here. Side by side, consistent distance throughout the course. And look at Jace. He's able to match or better the angle throughout the duration of the course. Fantastic job in the chase position, but now he's going to have the clean air in front of him. He's going to lead the way and set the pace for John Daniel.
It feels like Daniel's playing a little catch-up here coming into this second run, but anything can happen. Havoc, the black and yellow, and that got a little slow getting into that first initiation.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little hesitation on initiation there, and you see now it seems like panic throttle almost. He knows that he has to make up for something of a mistake that he sees in his mind. You look at him, that smoke line commitment, big angle from him in the lead position. But John Daniel is just absolutely unfazed in the chase position, sticking right with him throughout the whole course.
So let's get a second look at this from here and just look at this start right there.
So he throws a big feint and throws a lot of angle in the car, does Jace Havoc. And I think he dumped a little bit of speed, made sure that he was going to get out to the zone, but not wad the back of the car up as he crosses through the access road. So right now he is on throttle, pouring out a big smoke line, but it's not affected John Daniel because John Daniel is so close to him that the smoke can't possibly rise up fast enough and block his view. Unbelievable job from both these drivers, and I'm glad I'm not a judge.
Well, we're going to see it one more time.
Hell yeah.
Judges decided Uno Moss here, Bracket D final. Daniel again leads to start. Havoc on the inside. This is for seeding coming into our top 8.
Yeah, and you know what? At this point, it's just so sick seeing these guys drive. They're going so well together. Why not send them again? Like, let's get a definitive winner here and just send these guys again. I mean, it's all for the crowd. It's all for the show anyways. But John Daniel out front doing a good job, looking very smooth, filling the line requirements. But look at Jace. Jace is mimicking him perfectly. He's dropping back where he needs to and surging right back in to gain that proximity, doing a fantastic job in the chase.
I could watch these two drive against each other all day. It's a thing of absolute beauty. The car control, the throttle and brake work that they're both putting in, all the smoke that's showing. This is drifting at its best.
Yeah, and you can see all the little nuancy things because we have these drone pilots so close. You can see him sawing at the wheel. You can see all the little throttle inputs, the brakes being tapped and stuff like that. Fantastic to watch. These guys are killing it out here. And now Jace is going to lead the way in this one more time battle. John Daniel's going to chase him down.
Let's see if this start looks similar. And again, big angle getting into that first corner from Havoc. And Daniel's right there.
Yeah, it looked more smooth from Jace this time, so he definitely pulled it off. And look at that. He is throwing big angle. So John Daniel is definitely known as being one of the style guys here at Evergreen Drift, but Jace is like, shoot, let me see if I can beat you at your own game. Big throttle, like to see him a little bit deeper in that outer zone, but he's throwing so much angle, so much style and smoke out there, you can't really fault him for what's going on.
Can we see this a third time? My goodness, what a run. That was epic again, and we do get one more look from the drone footage of this fantastic series of runs.
Oh, yeah, at this point, like everyone in the grandstands has got their admission fee plus some. Just watching these guys go back and forth. Jace Havoc, look at that angle. Look at that smoke line for him. And John Daniel just aggressive as all hell, unfazed, sticking right with him. Almost leaving a little tire mark signature on the door, so close, paper thin margins, and they're crossing the finish line side by side, and the judges have a tough decision to make here.
Well, it's always fun to see when the drivers are excited, and you got that one more time. You both were pumped for that one. then what do you think kind of pushed you through on that second time?
Honestly, I overheard the announcer talk about my entry, and they made a comment about it, so I made sure to really focus on the entry. And the rest of the zones weren't too bad, and I just had to have a good chase after that, and it all kind of fell together. So.
All right, so switching courses next. What are your thoughts on the next course as far as for you as a driver and for your car?
Honestly, I really like that course a little bit better than this one. It kind of suits the gearing and the power that this car has, so I'm a little more excited for that layout. The entry's more fun too.
So the bad news is most drivers have said that. So
yeah, I think it's because that layout, half of it is on the simulator, Assetto Corsa, so a lot of people play it.
All right, well, we'll see you in the next round.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on Seattle 11. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Ben White. This is DriftCon After Dark, presented by Bardall. Ben, time to get even sicker. That's right. Than we were already. We're in the top 8 with some insane matchups coming up.
100%. We're at the Double 8 Showdown. So we've seen the first part of the Double 8. Now this is the second part. And what does that mean? Well, we have our 8 drivers figured out, and now we're switching the course layout. So as part of this, we're going to send these guys out, and they're all going to get a sight lap before their battles. So we'll watch Corey as he navigates through this course. Now, this is a brand new course layout. They haven't got time to practice this, and it's only for the finest, the best of the best, the top 8 here at DriftCon After Dark.
So you're taking a look, and again, this course is dramatically different than what we were running on before. There are some interesting new features to this whole layout as you're watching Keezer, who is the #1 overall seed, by the way. Corey came in as the 1. Jace Havoc, who he's going up against, is the #8. It's a longer course. There is a lot more turning, and let's see how Havoc decides to take his sight lap going after it.
All right, so Corey had a good sight lap. You saw him drift through the whole course. Now, this is not judged. They do not have to drift through the whole course. So Jace is out here just kind of feeling it out. So whereas the first course layout, we talked about how the speed stays pretty consistent or maybe gets a little progressively higher, this has a little bit more technical aspects of it. So you see there's a big stretch in the middle of the course where they're going to be on throttle, and as they come back around, nose in on on the first clip by their drain ditch, they're going to be like dumping a little bit of speed. There's some variances there. These drivers are going to have to adapt. So let's see how they do it here in head-to-head battles.
A little more pedal work coming up is what you're saying, at least as far as the throttle goes.
Yes, absolutely. So here we go. The first battle of our top 8 here at our Double 8 Showdown at DriftCon After Dark. Corey Keezer leading the way. Jace Havoc chasing him down. Both these guys initiation big time. Corey Keezer on throttle there, but looks like he dumps throttle, gets out of it, and dumps a bunch of speed. They ran into each other. I mean, a little bit of car contact there. That looks like it's going to be costly.
Yeah, that one's the first part of this is over as Havoc into the back of Keezer, and you're going to have to explain this a little more as we go to the replay. Speaking of costly, well, Boeing Employee Credit Union believes in people over profit. BECU altogether different. BECU, proud sponsor of our mini stock class here at Evergreen Speedway, and the cost comes in the points that are going to be deducted from which one of those 2 drivers?
It's going to be deducted from Corey at this point. So that is a spot where, as the lead driver, he should have been on throttle and accelerating. And so the chase driver, Jace, was expecting that to happen, trying to be on throttle, and there was contact there, nowhere that Jace could have gone. And so in the second half of this battle, it looks like big advantage in Jace's corner, and Corey is going to have to do everything he can to try and stick it to his door and sway the needle in his favor through the judges.
If you're in Havoc's seat right now, do you run this a little more conservatively?
If I'm Havoc, I am doing everything I can to just put down that 100-point qualifying run. All right, no matter what in the lead position, you cannot be phased, not do anything, not stick your hand out the window and tell the driver where he was seated in the Double 8 Showdown. You don't want to do any of that. You want to worry about your own business, your own stuff. But Jace had a little bit of extracurriculars out there.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's take a second look at this as we come through. I'm guessing these 2 aren't going to be exchanging meatloaf recipes after the event here today.
Nah, but there's mad beef on track.
Oh,
see what I did there? Yes.
See what you did.
So Jace Havoc, look at him filling all the criteria. This is like his first lead run in competition on this course today, and he's looking very good, very smooth and fluid. So these drivers know that in that lead position with this new course layout, they want to fulfill the requirements, but they don't got to get crazy with it right out the gate.
All right, so definitely some craziness on the first run. Kind of talk us through that, and then that long break, and then how it felt coming back out here.
I knew Corey Keyser's twin turbo LS7, so he's going to be real quick. So I was trying to stay on him, and then on transition, he just kind of parked it a little bit, and I was a little too close. I bumped him, and I feel like he could have kept drifting, so I thought he was. I clutch kicked it again, and I bumped him a second time. That's when it bent my tie rod. So I got a shout out to my team. They got the tie rod fixed in the allotted time, and we were able to take home the win.
All right, got through the next round.
All right, we are ready. It is the 4-5 matchup. John Daniel taking on Carlton McDonald. McDonald in the all-red car on the inside lane. He will chase. Daniel on the outside, one of the Team Goon Squad guys, right?
Yes, absolutely. So two different ethoses as far as car build goes, right? John Daniel, more of a stylistic driver, keeping it a little more grassroots level with his, but Carlton McDonald, like we said, trying to take that next step, trying to become a professional drifter, and he has got a full competition car here. But look, that's what DriftCon brings, a juxtaposition of drift builds, of cars competing against each other. And right now, Carlton McDonald maybe getting a little bit too aggressive there. We're going to have to check the drone replay because I think there was a little bit of Mario Kart action coming from John Daniel.
So we'll take a second look at it. Once again, Daniel versus McDonald. Again, McDonald in the all-red machine. Daniel, the more, graphically, scattered car, if you prefer. Lots of colors going on in lots of different ways.
It's purdy.
Okay? I like it.
That's why I say John Daniel got a purdy car.
I like it. It's purdy.
But he's out front. I mean, his driving is awesome too. But look at Carlton. He's going to get real aggressive here, and there's going to be a little bit of contact made. And as such, a side skirt drops out from John Daniel's car, and I think that's what might have led to Carlton McDonald going a little bit straight there, having a bobble in the chase position. So there's going to be a big disadvantage for Carlton going into the second half of this battle against John Daniel.
He is going to need to put together a solid lead run. Here is our second run at this. Green lights turn on, and they will loop into our course.
All right, Carlton McDonald, one half of the Skidiots Drift team. If you haven't, go check them out on YouTube, Skidiots Garage. Check out what Carlton's done to make that car the machine it is. And right now, he's in the lead position, trying to throw as much angle as he can at the car, stomping on throttle, using that horsepower as a bit of a crutch to dig himself out. But look at that. John Daniel is doing a very good job of sticking with him, gaining proximity, and look at that. He's going to finish side by side, door to door with Carlton McDonald here in the last run of their battle.
All right. To the drone. We'll take a second look at it as they come right into your lap in your home right now. And McDonald's starting us off getting sideways, and Daniel going to be right there looking to make himself a nuisance.
Look at that. Carlton McDonald doing a very good job of putting his car in all the right places, filling that line criteria. You see the back of his car, both back wheels basically in every outer zone, nosing in on that drain ditch from Death Clip. Doing a fantastic job in the lead position, but man, John Daniel can't be shaken, can't be stirred, and I think it's going to be swaying his way as far as the judges are concerned.
Well, let's find out. Derek Hobbs to talk to our winner.
All right, John. So everybody was excited for this course, and now we've seen nothing but carnage. So just kind of talk us about what do you see on this course so far?
There's a heavy slowdown after initiation. I think that's going to choke up a lot of people, which is pretty much exactly what happened on his lead. And yeah, so I'm curious to see how it goes.
All right, well, moving on. That's the most important thing, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Alex versus Alex on our next top 8 battle. Alex Steins is 3. Alex Lindsay is 6. And those two ready to go here on Home Track Heroes as we battle in the top 8 of DriftCon After Dark.
So remember, Alex Stein's in that blue BMW out front, and Alex Lindsay's going to chase him down that beautiful raspberry-colored S14. Throwing sparks again. Let's hope he keeps the tires on this car. As he navigates through the course, Alex Stein's doing a very good job on this new tricky course layout with a low horsepower car, being very smooth and consistent with all his inputs. And look at that, putting down a heater of a lead run. And Alex Lindsay having he's having a good time following him. He's like, hey man, this guy's putting it where it needs to be. so can I. Right there, door to door across the finish line.
I don't think any shocker here, but Lindsey did swap out rear wheels in between this run. He had those white powder-coated wheels on the rear of that car the first time. Now he is to a all-natural or all-black version of it. You'll take a look at it as they come around the corner from the drone shot here.
You're saying the white wheels weren't natural?
I'm saying that those are not a stock occurring color for wheels in nature.
You know what? Alex Lindsey, he's a lover of all colors of wheels. He'll put any of them on his car, and he'll burn the tires right off him in the chase position. He's chasing down Alex Steins right now, who, like I said, very smooth, consistent throttle inputs from him, doing a great job in the lead position, and finishing side by side as Alex Lindsey.
Excellent first run for both of them. Let's go into round number 2 to see if we can determine a winner. Flop them around. Lindsey leads. Steins chases as they start building up some speed, and a little bit of a feint and a big sweeper going into the first zone.
Wow, nice job from Alex Lindsey getting out to that first outer zone. But look at that. Alex Steins knows that he has a smooth competitor in front of him, and now you know what? He's got it made on Easy Street. He's stuck side by side with Alex Lindsey right now. He's able to stay on throttle, stay committed, nosing in on that first inner clip. And look at that, side by side, coming around our north light pole. Both these guys have a decent smoke line coming from their cars. And what else do you want, man? This is drifting in its essence.
It was beautiful. Once again, let's take a look at it. And I love this early transition. Lindsey just smooth, like butter on a roll, getting into that first corner. But, man, Steins right there to match him, move for move coming through this course.
Yeah, very good driver is Alex Lindsey. Like I said, I mean, he took a bit of a hiatus to build this car, but his driving, it never skipped a beat. I mean, he's keeping it on track, fulfilling all the line requirements, which was like one of the easiest requirements to start nitpicking. But you know what? In the lead position, doing what he's supposed to do, and Alex Steins had all the confidence in the world to stick it right to him as we go to the judges' decision.
All right. So we switched to this course. There was a little carnage at first. I think you said that you were pretty excited. You thought your car would do well on this course. So
this course, there's a lot of transitions, a lot of places where I could dive in as one of the slower cars. He beat me at Grassroots last round, so we're 1-1 now, and I'm happy I got it. He's a great driver. These guys are all pushing me to put out some of my best driving here.
All right. Well, congratulations. You're on the next round.
We are ready for the final round of the top 8. Tyler Mayer is your 2 seed. Matt Rusecki is the 7 seed. And I don't know how you end up with a 2 and a 7 on these guys. Yeah, Mayer is a 2, makes a lot of sense. But, wow, Rusecki is the 7 as we'll come in, and this is going to be a treat.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen these guys do battle a bunch of times this year. It's been a lot of fun to watch. They were at the buyback tournament, and I think they ran against each other 7 times during that whole competition. This is the first time they're seeing each other today, and look at that. They are side by side. Matt Rusecki pushing the Racer Through Rails S13 of Tyler Mayer through the course, but choking himself up a little bit, maybe getting a little bit too aggressive in the chase position.
I guess that's one way to get Mayer to run a lap, that he is not going to be cookie cutter, paint by numbers style like Mayer usually is with his trademark consistency. Let's get another look from the drone shot and see a little bit of that physicality that happened on this run.
Yeah, Matt Rusecki is a little bit more of a wild card comparatively to Tyler Mayer, right? Tyler Mayer doing the same thing every time, but you know what? Maybe Matt Rusecki throwing in a little bit of a chaos element here, trying to, cross Tyler up, maybe get him a little bit off his game, and look at that. Affecting him, adding a little bit more angle to the car was Matt Rusecki, but like we said, maybe a little bit too aggressive in the chase position. He actually dropped back, and there's a little bit of a gap created. So let's see. I mean, it's all for the judge's interpretation here as we switch the order and send Matt Rusecki out with the clean air.
You said this a little bit earlier, and I guess we've never asked you. They're scoring on a 1 to 100 scale?
It is not a 1 to 100 scale at this point, right? The 1 to 100 scale is what we use for qualifying. And so that's kind of, essentially we'll use the 1 to 100 for the lead car, right? To keep them honest, we first and foremost want them to fulfill all the line requirements Tyler Mayer was like, hey, I don't think that line requirement's correct, and kind of crossed over. I mean, 2 cars cannot occupy the same space. It's like time cop rules, right? They can't occupy the same space. Something's got to give, and right there was Matt Rosecki's lead run.
Technically, I think it's physics, but, we can continue on with science and stuff later.
No, I learned science from Van Damme movies.
And I learned science from Bill Nye a long time ago. As we continue in and through, and here's the contact coming up right about meow. Bang. Right there.
Right, yeah. So you see Matt Rosecki, he actually, it looked like he got off throttle a little bit there where he still kind of should have been accelerating.
Okay, so obviously a little contact there on that last run. Kind of just talk me through what you saw on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're both driving 100%. We're both really good drivers, and really the only way one's going to win that battle is driving to that level, and it's not the way I want to win, unfortunately, but yeah, we just drove our best. We did our best.
All right, so what do you think you got to fix there?
I got to go see if anything's bent right now. Obviously everything, the fender, the bumper, everything's pushed in. So I got to take a quick peek before my next battle.
All right, well, good luck.
You are watching DriftCon, and it is finally DriftCon After Dark, presented by Bartle here at Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. I am Caleb Hart. Joining me is the greatest youth goalie trainer in the history of youth hockey, Ben White. As we are ready to move forward on this show, it is time to move into the semifinals for our competition, and got to be a good one, Ben.
Absolutely. Hey, we're in the semifinals now, and we see Jace Habek going up against John Daniel, the Blue Boy of the Goon Squad.
That's right. This segment brought to you by Blue Boy Golf and Events Center. Looking for the perfect location to host your wedding or special corporate event? Look no further than Blue Boy Golf and Events Center in Monroe. A beautiful 9-hole golf course with awesome mountain views, making a wonderful venue for your special day.
All right, this Blue Boy out front is trying to work on his long game right now, trying to send that car in. Oh, coming up a little bit short into that outer zone was John Daniel, and look at that. Jace Habek sees a door open, steps right through it, gains some proximity, gets a little bit, you know what, checkers or wreckers out there, taking out some barrels, taking out some bumpers. He doesn't like any of it, and he wants to get through that finish line.
Good looking first run for these two. Let's take a look. We have got...
Yeah, we see John Daniel in the lead position now, initiating big dog style, big angle from him, fulfilling that first outer zone, and Jace doing a good job sticking right with him. He is unfazed and ready to just maintain that proximity, gain some proximity. Here's they come around that first inner clip around the death drainage ditch. That's some alliteration for you there.
Well done.
Yeah, and transitioning, both a mimic transition from Jace, doing a good job, taking out that barrel, like we said, Donkey Kong style, ain't no care. He just wants to get it done.
Taking a look at it, it is now Habek on the outside and in your lead position.
And now John Daniels going to chase it down. Big initiation from Jace Habek. He knows who he's going against in Mr. John Daniel, the Blue Goon, chasing him down. And look at that. Jace is just absolutely on one, filling all the criteria, throwing big angle everywhere, trying to beat John Daniel at the style game. And you know what? I think that needle is swaying his direction right now. John Daniel cutting through the smoke line, doing what he can to stay door-to-door with Mr. Jace Habek, but look at that, cross the finish line side by side. Jace is just a monster out there. All right, let's check the drone footage on this one. So Jace in the lead position. John Daniel's going to chase him down. Jace, I mean, steady initiation from him, flirting with that line on the first outer zone, but doing a fantastic job keeping that car on course. And look at that, John Daniel applying the pressure there as they get to the second and third outer zones through this transition. John Daniel's just trying to stay out of the smoke line here, trying to stick with his competitor. And look at that, side by side, nosing around that drainage ditch. Transitioning once again as they come towards the finish line. Look at that side-by-side finish for the crowd here at DriftCon After Dark.
Okay, definitely have seen. This is probably the most carnage I've seen on a top 8 here. But that was definitely the two of you. I think handled it the best so far. Kind of just walk us through the battle there.
Yeah, I already battled John earlier. We got it one more time, and he beat me, so I knew I was going to have to show up. I just tried to push a little harder. Sorry about your bumper, dude, but that's drifting.
All right. Any thoughts for? Let's see here. We got Steins and Rusecki on the other side. Have you battled either of those guys before?
Alex, no, but they're both good buddies. Met them up in Canada, and they both been coming down here. So I'd battle either one of them. Sounds like a blast.
All right, sounds good. We will see you in the finals then.
This one is for a berth in the finals. Your lead will be Alex Steins, Matt Rusecki Matt Rusecki on the inside. See the drones flying about ready to go. And we're up and underway here in this run to determine who's going to the finals.
Yeah, that's not a silent T in Steins' last name. That is a hard T. You want to pronounce the crap out of that T. So Alex Steins out in the lead position. Like we said, low horsepower BMW, but he is making that thing work. I mean, smooth throttle inputs, stuntman by day, but look at this, drift car driver by night here at DriftCon After Dark as the lights go. The sun goes down, lights come on, and the party is just starting here with Alex Steins a little bit off that nose clip, opening the door for Matt Rusecki in the chase position. But, man, Alex is doing a fantastic job piloting that BMW.
Another look at everything from the drone footage. You're right. Sun goes down, lights come on, and the stars come out here as for a spot in the finals. The lead run from Steins, hard T, and Rusecki right there on his rear fender, working his way in through those first couple of corners.
Matt Rusecki doing a great job in the first half of the course, maintaining that proximity, but he's got such a good lead run to work off of. Alex Steins is doing a fantastic job piloting that BMW everywhere, doing great, crossing the finish line, and man, that's a tough run to compete with.
Flip them. Rusecki outside. Steins now to the inside. It'll be Rusecki leading and Steins giving chase as they sweep into the first corner.
All right, let's see if Matt Rusecki can do as good or better. And he's crossing over the edge of the course layout. I mean, you saw him dip a tire across the yellow line. We'll check it again on the drone footage, but that's an uncharacteristic mistake from Mr. Matt Rusecki. We see him, and he's constantly flirting with the edge of the course, but never exceeding it. And right there, he did open the door for Alex Steins, and look at that. Alex is able to maintain proximity, stick there, door to door with Matt Rusecki, and cross the finish line. Man, I think it's going to Alex Steins' favor, but let's check the drone footage because the drone never lies.
Never lies. I've been consistently impressed with both of these guys today, and you're right, just flirting with disaster a little too much, hung it out too far, and over the course for just the blink of an eye was Rusecki, and Steins begins putting together a monster run in the chase position that should vault him into the finals. We'll see here in just a couple more seconds how it ends up judging out.
You know, when these drivers are so close, when those little mistakes get amplified so much, when these guys are just going neck and neck, door to door, and you know what? I think that's the end of Matt Rusecki's day.
All right, you keep battling. You thought you had that. You thought this course was going to be suit your car. You just keep battling these higher horsepower cars. Now you're in the finals.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Big respect to Matt, though, man. Great driver. Honestly, he pushes me, and I see him as an inspiration to drive better. So big respect to him.
All right, good luck in the final.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so here we are. We've made it all the way to the finals here at the Double H Showdown, and it's going to feature Alex Steins going up against Jace Havoc here in the finals. Alex Steins, the higher-seated driver, he's going to lead the way first.
All right, here they make their run. Two very different builds in these cars. Two drivers who have been very impressive. Steins versus Havoc as they roll through our course.
Yeah, one of these cars looks like any other BMW that you could pull next to on a stoplight, and the other one is a fully modified competition build. And you know what? It's awesome. The comparison here on track showing you that, hey, you know what? With a little bit of driver mod, anyone can compete, and Alex Steins is absolutely competing. He is boxing with that competition car of Jace Havoc, and man, it is very close on this first run.
Moving in now, it is Steins, your lead car as we pick up the drone footage here with Havoc in chase mode.
All right, this is the finals, right? So these guys got this course dialed in at this point, as dialed as it is ever going to be, and Alex Steins is doing what he can. That Dark Lotus E46 BMW put in all the right places, throwing big angle there, coming around that outer zone, and look at that, nosing in on that clip. But Jace Havoc is absolutely applying the pressure. You see some of those underglows lighting it up, and man, he is lighting up the doors of Alex Steins there across the finish line.
Taking a look now, Steins on the inside and Havoc on the outside for the victory coming up. This will determine the whole thing. Havoc leads them into this first sweeping corner.
Man, and look at Alex Steins right out the gate. He looked like he was trying to be really aggressive, but then backed off come initiation time. So, you know, there was a gap established, but he closed it almost immediately. Fantastic job from Steins in the chase position, but Jace Havoc, look at that spell gun. Oh, phased is Alex Steins. Now, we got to keep Jace honest here because he's setting the pace. He needs to complete the course and absolutely does. A gentleman, a scholar, a professional, Jace making it happen in the lead position.
Taking a look from the drone. On the outside, it is Jace Havoc.
Yeah,
with
and Alex
Steins
is
trying to chase him down.
Yeah, applying the pressure. That low horsepower BMW, but look, he's trying to keep that consistent vehicle speed up, trying to stay with his competitor, and look at him, just barely in frame there, but Jace Havoc just throwing on the angle, pouring on the smoke line, bringing the energy to DriftCon After Dark as he comes through and he's about to cross the finish line. His competitor nowhere in sight, and he's going to stand tall as the judges are now about to make their decision.
Let's get third place up here in Mr. John Daniel, and we'll talk to third place. We'll wrap it out with him real quick and see what's going on. So John Daniel, dude, killer driving all day, man. So, you know, you're a two-time grassroots champion. You came out, you did the Double H Showdown. You've done a bunch of other competitions, right? So is this a trend for you? Are you going to keep stepping the game up? Or are you just going to keep doing your thing with the Goon Squad guys, and whenever you feel fit, just go messing up points and, you know, taking hearts?
Yeah, I want to do more serious comp. My last car had a cage, and I could do that, but then I totaled it. So this one just doesn't have a cage, so I couldn't do any more serious comps. But this is like the closest thing to that. So.
Hey man, totaling cars is just part of the thing. You got third place today. Take us through some of your day. Was there any highlights that you can think of throughout the day that got you to this point? I mean, whether it was your driving, some of the battles that you had. I know you had some killer ones, so take us through some of that.
I think my battles with Jace, those were crazy. I've always wanted to drive with him, especially with his like pro car. So I thought that was crazy. It was a lot of fun. That was my highlight.
That was his highlights. Hey, man, it was super cool to watch. You got third place today. Give some shout-outs to the people who are keeping you motivated, keeping you on track, and making that car look as sick as it does.
Yeah, shout-out to my fiance, Danielle, all of Goon Squad, Casey Tufts. He built my motor and tuned it. It's been great. All the boys, everybody's.
Right on. So big round of applause for third place today with Mr. John Daniel. And he's got, dang, we got big checks, huh? DriftCon AD brings up big checks. So it looks like, what do we got? We got Tire Streets, and we got some cold hard cash, baby. Drift HQ as well. Look at that, making it happen. So big checks, just mount those on the wall. I ain't never got no big checks. Whatever. All right, get off my stage, sucker. I'll see you in a minute, though. All right. So second place today, let's bring him up here. We got Mr. Alex Steins. Alex Steins, where you at, buddy? Bigger round of applause. That's second place today at our Double H Showdown, dudes. So Alex Steins coming down from the Great White North. And as far as our podium goes, I feel like you had the lowest horsepower car. Would that be correct in that assumption?
I don't think I had the lowest horsepower in the whole competition, but I think in the top. Oh, podium, yeah, for sure. I think so.
For sure on the podium, right? Yeah. So I mean, making that E46 work, it was one of those things where, you know, I had the epiphany up in the booth where it's not so much that you're not carrying the same speed. It's just when you get into sticky situations, you're not able to dig yourself out with power. So when you go in there with the mindset, what mindset are you going in with to battles to make that car keep up with higher horsepower cars? Like what's your strategy? Let us know for inquiring minds.
My mentality is I'm gonna beat people up. I'm gonna beat this guy up, or I don't know. I used to fight, so I bring that mentality in. It's very friendly, to be honest. There's so many great drivers here. I'm just like, man, this guy's really good. I gotta put it on his door. If I don't, I'm gonna lose.
All right. Well, hey, man, I like that mentality. Keep it up. It's super fun to watch. Give some shout-outs to the people who are keeping you on track, getting you out here, keeping you motivated, keeping you happy.
My sponsor, Rain City Motorsport, my good friend and mentor who's competing today as well, Gaston Morrison, my wife, Orfei, and my kid, all the great drivers I train with up in Vancouver, and all the great drivers out here. A lot of great drivers in the last year have been coming down here and driving with you guys, and it really upped my level. So thanks to those guys too, respect.
All right, big round of applause here for Alex Steins here. Second place today. He's taking home big checks too. And first place today, man, do I lean into mispronouncing his name continuously? Where's his parents at? Because I'm pretty sure they got their pitchforks and their torches lit now. But it's going to be Jace Habik. Habik. Let's get it up here, buddy. What's up, Jace? So let's just be on a first name basis right now with Mr. Jace here. Man, some killer battles out there. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I think you had some of the most aggressive chase run transitions. There's bumper sweeps on every run. I mean, what do you attribute that timing to? Is it just the willingness to go in there no holds barred, or do you have a certain training regiment that you want to give credit to? What's up there?
Yeah, I got a simulator, started running all the courses on Assetto, and you can't, hands down, that is the best practice. You go practice the car when you can, or go practice in the car when you can. Get on the sim every night, all the time. Live on a sim.
You see how I lobbed up that question for him to just knock that answer out of the park? I mean, fantastic driving from you. So you drove Spec D most of the year, and tell us how that went as well.
Oh, Spec D is awesome. If you guys are trying to go to Pro Spec or even the next level, Spec D is a good training series. You got to travel, you got to be out of your hometown. I mean, Evergreen puts on great events, but it's across the street, and you don't have to I don't have to travel. So when you get to travel, you get out of your comfort zone, and it teaches you a lot about what it takes to go to the next level.
All right, so cross promotion aside, I was asking more specifically your results there and what that entails. Yeah.
Yeah, I won first place there.
I won
the
first
championship,
place there.
And I got my Pro Spec license.
And he's got his Pro Spec license, so he's poised to make the next step, but we're still going to see you October 14th, right, at our licensing shootout at Evergreen Speedway? Just say yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming back. No, we don't need any more licensed drivers. There's enough.
Well, hey, man, you know what? Killer driving all day at the Double 8 Showdown. You know, one question I haven't asked anyone else, when we swapped the course layout, what goes through your head there? Just real quick.
It's on pavement that is brand new pavement and old pavement, so you just need to take that into account and know where you're going to gain grip or lose grip.
That guy, just rolling NOS can guy, just ruining all the sound quality here. But you know what, man? You killed it. I absolutely love watching you. You have this one driving style, and it's just skiddy pedal down, steer the car. It's fun to watch. Let's give some shout outs to the people who keep you on track, keep you motivated, and keep that car happy.
First and foremost, the crew. They come down every Friday, prep the car, get her dialed. First Air Motorsports, H2 Engineering, Shift Hawthorne, Zestino Tires, GK Tech. That's about all.
That's about all. Hey, and that's what it takes to be a champion and be a winner today at the Double 8 Showdown. So give it up for Jace Habik, making it happen. Big checks, big trophies.
Thank you for tuning in here to Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Ben White, Caleb Hart. Let's move on. We're done with this whole 1-against-1. Let's throw them in teams. What do you say, Ben?
I think that sounds like a wicked awesome idea, Caleb.
Wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. That's right.
Awesome. All right, team tandem time, and I'll leave it to you to kind of explain the rules of team tandem as we've got the Goon Squad taking on Ignant.
Absolutely. So, whereas in the previous competition of the Double 8 Showdown, we saw these drivers on track competing against each other, the cars that we see on track will be competing with each other in team tandem here. So what we see is the Goon Squad with some of the finest examples of team tandem drifting that you're ever going to see in your entire life. I promise you. They are 5-time winners here at DriftCon events, and man, they're the only team out here with 4 drivers, and they just worked as one. It was 4 as 1 out there.
That was beautiful. It's the automobile racing version of synchronized swimming, only way cooler, where we're slaying tires and doing fun race car stuff.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is where we also see some of the after dark aspects of DriftCon come into play. So we see these team cars together, and you see the underglow under there. So I'm going to take a little bit of credit here because I chirped them on the microphone. I was like, man, they all got different colored liveries. It'd be really cool if their underglow matched their liveries. And then the next run out, they changed it. And I mean, I just went nuts. I just went nuts in my own head. I mean, it's the aesthetics. It's what they got to do. And, I mean, they're doing great on track with their driving. But Ignit and friends, you know what? They think that they can do a little bit better here as they're going against Goon Squad.
Well, I'll tell you what. When your need for speed gets the best of you, don't be Ignit. You end up needing stitches or having bones set. It's Evergreen Health Monroe, your full-service community hospital, ready to take care of you when you need them the most.
All right, so one point of interest here is that last car, the third car in this team tandem group, that is actually Zach Farrar's car. It is not Zach Farrar driving it. It is DJ Substad. So DJ's car, he threw a serpentine belt on one of the previous battles. I mean, we kind of fast forward a little bit, cut out the fat, and here we are at the trimmed semifinals here. Well, DJ threw a serpentine belt, couldn't get his car fixed, went out there, and they actually tried to have Zach sub in for DJ, and they're like, no, DJ has to drive. And Zach's like, shoot, chucked him the keys. And he said, hey, I owe you a 10-second car. And DJ's like, oh, dude. And now he's out here bashing doors with his bros, driving a a Formula Drift Pro Spec car in team tandem.
Now, that's not like a stage name, right? It's like DJ Subset.
No,
that's actually his name.
It's DJ. I think it stands for Dirty John. I don't know. I'm just making that up on the spot here. It's DJ Stubstad, and he is killing it in the third position. But you know what? This is kind of as far as the format goes for this team tandem, it's like pseudo tandem. So you got to take those first runs, compare them against each other between the Goon Squad and Ignit and Friends. And now this is the second run between Goon Squad and Ignit and Friends. And you see these four cars working together as one. Are you kidding me, Goon Squad? I mean, can anyone dethrone these kings?
Can I steal a word out of your vocabulary?
Yes.
Choof.
Choof. Buddies.
Full choofage.
That's right. You see the last two cars running the strobes back there, trying not to, get the teammates blinded by the light. But you know what? These guys are killing it out here. We got John Weigel. He's actually leading the way in that 350Z. Then we got John Daniel in the second position, Julio Loesch in the third position, and Junior Chun bringing up the rear. I mean, this is the last 4 years of grassroots champions here in John Daniel, Julio Loesch, and Junior Chun. And, I mean, they're putting it on display.
I appreciate Julio Loesch and his willingness to run a road cone orange-colored car. Only brave men do that.
Well, you know what? I asked him why his car wasn't black, and the whole team was like, well, he paints the cars. He gets to make the choices.
That makes sense. All right, Ignit run number 2. Each of them get 2 runs here in these semifinal rounds. So Ignit round 2 with their 3 coming out here and putting on a show for you.
All right, so we got Jake Rito leading the way in that E30 BMW, that big wing, just skyscraping in there. And then we got Josh Duncan in that E36 BMW. He's got the traditional Ignit livery on that white BMW. And bringing out the rear, like we said, DJ in a borrowed competition car.
When you started broadcasting, did you ever think you would string the words traditional Ignit livery together in a sentence? That one's new.
No, but I'm pretty stoked on that. I think I'm going to be in Guinness now for stringing together the weirdest possible automotive-themed broadcast sentence.
I'm into it. That was not criticism. That was definitely applause.
All right. Yes, it's poetry in motion through my verbiage.
I love it. All right, so this run is now officially over, and forward we go. It seems like we've got winners, and the win was awarded to the Goon Squad as we're moving on to the semifinal, the second side, and Ride the Wall coming out here.
All right, so we got Royce Tanner out front in that Pontiac GTO. We got Brendan Theriot in that S197 Ford Mustang, and Dario Reddick bringing up the rear in that third position. All three of these guys working very well together, so they've driven together a bunch this year. Dario kept getting his teeth kicked in grassroots by these two, and he goes, shoot, I need to drive more with these guys, and where else can you drive more than if you're on a team with them in Team Tandem at DriftCon After Dark?
I just love that somebody's brave enough to race a Pontiac still. Let's see the replay on this one between the Ride the Wall 3 from the drone.
Well, it's either braveness or stupidity, and Royce, it could be both for Royce.
Por qué no los dos?
I don't speak Spanish.
That's all right. Got it covered for the both of us.
All right, parlez français aujourd'hui.
That's Canadian.
Nepa, that's right.
I don't follow that.
I mean, two different dialects, two different ends of the border.
You're speaking metric on me, all right? Let's just back to the action.
Gross. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to all our listeners today. But look at this. What I'm not sorry about is this display that Ride the Wall is putting on right now. Fantastic job from them. And now let's see if the Ratchet Slayers have an answer in this team tandem battle.
Ratchet Slayers, ready to go.
Ratchet, like ratchet and socket, okay?
Right, yeah, hardware tools and stuff.
Absolutely. So we got Jarrett Robertson in his Need for Speed Underground 2 themed 350Z out front.
Beautiful.
And then we got the Poyorena Bros. We got Neil in that Pontiac Firebird, that Trans Am, that 4th gen right there. And then we got Matt Poyorena, and he's bringing up the rear. He's in that 3rd position. So one of these interesting things when they get into the team dynamic is how they order the cars. All right, so there's a couple of different schools of thought on this, and basically the lead car, you either want it to be the slowest car or the most consistent driver. I feel like they're close to both of those aspects with Jarrett out front. Jarrett's been stepping his driving game up so much and does a very good job. I mean, that's a stock 350Z there. So it's something easy that if the chase drivers, if the drivers in the 2nd and 3rd position get in a little bit of trouble, they can make up that distance, right? They can use that horsepower, make up that distance, as you see Neil and Matt both doing as they cross the finish line there.
Do they have in-cockpit communication, or is it all just feel and mirrors?
It's just feel and mirrors, and I'm pretty sure if they had in-cockpit communication, it'd just be them going, woo! Woo!
Like me on the zipper back in the day before it caused my stomach to turn flips in it and around it.
Yeah, with less throwing up, less
Exactly.
vomiting, for sure.
All right, run 2 for Ride the Wall coming up here. Ooh, sideways, big time. That was a nice corner from those guys. They're looking good out there.
So good transition. You see Dario had to check up a bit, but you know what? Dario is like the Northwest NASCAR Rookie of the Year. He was having fun doing roundy round, but he saw how much fun we were doing drifting. So he came out. He's got 2 drift cars now that are both comp ready, and so he is no slouch behind the wheel. He's not scared to get up close and personal, and so he's a really good driver to have in that 3rd position. His adaptability behind 2 other cars, watching what they're doing, making sure he's staying in drift, is second to none. He's doing a fantastic job back there. And look at these guys working 3 as 1 in unison, navigating through this course that we have here, this figure 8 layout at DriftCon After Dark. Fantastic job finishing nice up close and personal with the crowd against that wall at Evergreen Speedway.
One more run for the Ratchet Slayers coming up down here the front straightaway. We'll get this, then we'll get the drone replay of them before we move on into our next round of action, as here they roll into the turns.
All right, so good job from Jarrett Robertson out front. It looked like a little bit of low angle initiation, so I'm definitely going to want to see the drone replay on that. And look at these guys filing in as they come around the north light pole, doing a good job. I mean, the green, the red, the white, I mean, it looks fantastic there. Good job from the Ratchet Slayers. Let's check out the drone.
It's like Christmas in drift mode here as we take a peek from the drone shot. 1, 2, and 3 coming to get this run started.
I mean, I feel like Ratchet Slayers should definitely get bonus points because Neil has the T-tops out, which quite frankly, as far as every time I've seen him drive, the T-tops haven't been in, so I don't even think he has them. I think he's like a true 4th gen enthusiast where he just threw them in the garbage right away and goes out and just shreds tires in that Fire Chicken, making it happen. I mean, look at the Ratchet Slayers side by side, crossing the finish line, and again, getting up close and personal with the crowd there. Fantastic job from them in Team Tandem.
We are back with the finals coming up next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Welcome back here to Home Track Heroes, Seattle 11. It is the final run of DriftCon After Dark, presented by Bardall, Caleb Hart, Ben White, and let's go. Team Tandem, this is for 3rd place. They each get 1 run going for 3rd, and it is Ignat versus the Ratchet Slayers. Ignat's 1 run to try to impress the judges.
One and done, sudden death here for Team Ignat going up first. They're going to lead the way. And, man, they've been shredding tires all day. It's surprising that they can keep rubber on these cars.
They need to roll down to Tire Pros, the official tire dealer of Evergreen Speedway. Tire Pros, your one-stop tire retailer where honesty is the best policy. And they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros, all the national brands, and offering a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to TirePros.com, and you're going to need 12 brand new ones after that finish.
God dang, is Jake, Josh, and DJ, man, just shredding all day as Team Ignit and friends. We're missing Spencer Casey. We're missing Jade Bateman. But you know what? The essence of Team Ignit is alive and well with this motley crew of individuals. Look at that. Out front, we got a perfect lead line from that E30 BMW of Jake. Josh Duncan's doing what he can in the second position. And look at DJ adapting to a brand new car in that third position, finishing side by side, crossing the finish line. Man, does Ratchet Slayers have an answer for this in the second half of this battle?
About to find out as here comes the green, red, and white machines trying to make their way through the corner, and that looks pretty.
I like that shot. Like, crop that out. Let's take that image. Let's put it on a T-shirt. Let's put it on a billboard. And, I mean, we're going to have twice the crowd that we have here. I mean, it was a record-setting crowd here at our DriftCon events. As many people as we've ever had. And this is showing you why. As Ratchet Slayers finishing three deep.
How do you judge that? How do you pick between those two? Goodness, I guess I should ask, what are the judges judging on when it comes to Team Tandem?
Well, they're looking at, like, the team unison, right? So all the things that you want in, like, the lead position, we want to have a good run through. There's not as much criteria as far as line goes. We have a course layout, but as far as that, we don't have any clipping zones, none of that. We just want to see these cars working together. So as they transition, we want to see them transition together. We want to see poetry in motion. We want to see these cars dancing on track with each other. We don't want to look like they're fighting each other out there. And, I mean, they're working so well together. It was hard to call a winner, but Team Ignit got third place there. So fantastic job from them taking out the Ratchet Slayers. But this is the finals now with Goon Squad trying to get their 6th consecutive title here at DriftCon events.
All right, so taking a look, it is the 4-person team of the Goon Squad taking on Ride the Wall. We're back to the double runs on these ones, so they're going to have 2 chances to impress the judges. And look at those 4 cars coming through like they're connected by string all the way through them. Goodness gracious.
Impress the judges. They're impressing the commentators right now. Unbelievable job from Goon Squad, showing you why they're 5-time winners here. Look at that, side by side, and really settling in here. So we got John Weigel out front, that 350Z. He is setting the pace. And look at John Daniel, Julio Loesch, and Junior Chun just settling in. You see the transitions. They're all working together, 4 as 1, side by side, crossing the finish line. I can't take it anymore. Goon Squad, take my money.
16 cars racing as one around here. Time for Ride the Wall to try to do something equally impressive coming right back at us.
I'm already impressed by these guys. I mean, they haven't been a team, a cohesive unit for very long, but they're doing well. You see them getting to, and that was the first bobble that we've seen from these guys. It's been so close, and much like any other competition, when you whittle it down, when you get close to the finals, those little mistakes get magnified so much just because these cars, the drivers, the teams are so close in competition.
You're going to get a good look at it coming up here on the drone replay, and watch the middle car. Who's our middle car runner on this group? This is
in the Ford Mustang, that would be Brendan Theriot.
Okay.
In that Ford Mustang. So we watched Royce as he initiates, kind of jams on the binders a little bit, and whereas Brendan was hoping he'd pick up the throttle a little bit sooner, he did not. The second and third car, they kind of bobbled. They had to get out of it just a little bit. But look at that. They dive right back in. I mean, their heart rate has to be that of a hummingbird, but they're smooth, steady, calm, collected, and finishing 3 wide crossing the finish line.
So here's the good news. They're going to get one more run at it, but Goon Squad first with their final chance to impress, their final chance to score points, and we are off and running for the Goons.
Good early initiation from them coming into this figure 8 layout. Going around the south light pole now is the Goon Squad, and look at that, 4 deep, all taking the same line. I mean, it looks like 4 of the same car, just different snapshots in time. And look at that, working so well together. Look, getting a little bit chaotic coming to the end, but I mean, they're getting excited. They want to put their stamp on it, and they want to impress the judges, the crowd, everybody one last time.
You know, I arguably think their first run was the better of the two there. It got a little helter-skelter at the very end, and you're going to see it here from the drone. Watch how they come through the final corner, and things get awfully tight, awfully quick.
I mean, awfully tight is basically their MO, their modus operatus. That's how the Goon Squad navigates through these courses, looking good. And you see they're not trying to take like a whole bunch of risks throughout the entirety of the course. Granted, as now they go around this north light pole, they want to put their stamp on it a little bit. It looks like some of them got a little bit close, had to back out of it. But even then, the weeble wobbles that you saw are not great. I mean, they're not something that can be magnified that much with these 4 drivers.
All right, final chance here for Ride the Wall to try to take the Team Tandem title, their final run between the drivers 3.
Oh, good alliteration, Caleb.
You're welcome.
Oh, excellent. So, Ride the Wall. Man, look at these guys. They know they have a deficit. They know they have to step it up. And look at them side by side. I mean, you could spitting flames is Brendan Theriault. Man, just the excite factor, the chaos element. They're bringing it to the track, finishing 3 wide. But you know what? I just don't think it was enough to dethrone the champs here at DriftCon After Dark.
I don't know. There's a lot of smoke, and where there's smoke, there is fire coming up here on this run for Ride the Wall. Let's see how these boys do coming into the big sweeping right-hand corner.
All right, a quick mea culpa from me. I talked a little trash. I said I didn't think that they had a whole lot of smoke. I was wrong. Royce Tanner, big smoke line from him in that Pontiac GTO out front. Brendan Theriault letting that fire sing, letting that Ford Mustang skinny pedal down, letting that thing sing, and let's take it to the podium.
Watching you guys out there, I mean, it was everything that we want when we hear Team Ignan, right? So we got exciting, we got a little bit of chaos, but in the end of it, we got you guys on the podium. So I want to talk to you about something else. I'll talk to some of your other teammates here. So, what was the strategy going in for you guys? I mean, I talked about strategy of putting slow car up front, putting consistent car up front. What did you guys go with?
Yeah, I kind of went with both. So less horsepower, I've been the least, so they've naturally put me up front, and I can run a pretty consistent line. So.
Exactly. Okay, well, I mean, it works out that way, right? You want the consistent guy out front, and you want someone to be able to catch him in the back should crazy stuff happen. I mean, it seemed like a little bit of crazy happened at every run. So is that something that you guys were trying to, put into every run, is having a little bit of chaos with a little bit of dance?
Yeah. Absolutely, chaos or nothing. It's got to be chaos or it's not exciting.
Records or checkers, bud.
Exactly.
All right, and we're talking about chaos, and now I'm going to make my way back over here, and we're going to talk about the most chaotic thing I've ever seen. Because all of a sudden there was a green car in with Ignan and Friends where there should have been a tan car, and it was DJ driving Zach Farrar's Pro Spec car. So can you tell me what the conversation was on grid that weaseled your way into a Pro Spec car right there?
So I threw a serpentine belt. I didn't have a spare. I drove my car to his pits at 280 coolant temp, asked him if he had a spare. He said no, he didn't, and then I told him he can come fill in for me. And then we got out to grid. Kevin said I would have to drive. And then I looked at Zach with puppy eyes, and he's like, all right, whatever.
Can you show us the look? Show us the look. Oh, that'd do me in too. I'd let you drive anything. Go take the SS out for the team tandems after that. But you know what? Hey, man, it worked out. It seemed like 3 laps in, you got that thing basically figured out. Is that how it felt for you as well?
Yeah, honestly, huge shout out to Zach. I never expected him to let me drive a Formula Drift car in Team Tandem, but honestly, huge homie, love him to death. Thank you so much, man.
Right.
Never
MVP.
Yeah, real MVP. Yeah, get him up here. Get him up here.
All right.
Get him up here. Yeah.
So hey, man, Team Ignan. I mean, you got some shouts out? You got some people that you want to thank for getting you up here, or is it this 3 right here?
Shout out to my girlfriend Brenna for always supporting me, getting us track food, getting us everything we ever need. Watch This Freight and Stack Performance.
Anything else?
Zach Farrar.
And Zach Farrar. All right, give it up for Team Ignat real quick. Third place today at the Team Tandem competition. Second place, who do we have? Who was it? Oh yeah, Ride the Wall Drift Team in second place for our Team Tandem competition. Get your butts up here, come on. Give them a round of applause out there. Get loud, make some noise. All right, so I got Brendan beside me. He was the driver of the Ford Mustang. So let's talk about your guys' strategy out there as well. So did you put the slowest car out in front? Was that the strategy there, or what did you guys have going on?
No, we put the car that puts the best lead line down with the most smoke, the most angle, the most style every time is this guy.
So most smoke, but there was zero smoke. So zero across the board, negative smokes across the board?
Smoke? No smoke?
No, I didn't see no smoke. That's brutal. I ain't trying to catch no smoke either, so maybe I should change my tone.
Hey, let's keep that I drive the Mustang out on the down low, please. Let's not just be.
No, we're gonna put that all over the internet. This is the Mustang guy. When you think of Mustang, you see this face right here. All right. When you think of GTOs, you see that face right there. Man, in that lead position, I mean, what's your mindset there? Are you just worried about your own stuff, or are you checking where your buddies are at?
So at some point, you try to hit all your zones, even though I know we don't have them, but I aim for zones because that's how you always do in drift anyway. And then you try to, if you think they're not close enough, you try to start riding the brake a little bit and try to slow down so they can get a chance to catch up.
All right, so that's the strategy in the lead position for Royce. Now in the third position, we had Dario Reddick, kind of like the oddball out, the black sheep of this group in his stylish S13 back there. I mean, how did you get hooked up with these two motley sons of guns over here?
I lost to them too many times in grassroots, and I'm like, these guys are too good. I got to team up with them, drive with them more, and now I beat them in grassroots.
That's it. That's oh, that's right. Oh, ancient drifty secrets there. So, hey man, who do you guys got to thank? I mean, as part of the Ride the Wall Drift team, as part of this whole team, who you guys got to thank to keep it up? You want me to hit Brendan?
Yes, please. So we got to thank the Lyman Kirkland, JMI, Raritan Racing, Happy Cookies and Cakes, Custom F and Customs. We need to thank Aegis Treatment Centers. We're actually sponsored by Aegis Treatment Centers. We're out here doing it for the addict that's still suffering in silence, showing these people that there is another chance at life. Some people don't get that chance, and so we're trying to spread that word.
All right, big round of applause right here for Ride the Wall Drift Team. Let's get them up here. Goon Squad in first place at Team Tandem at DriftCon AD. I got high fives to spare. Let's get it done. Junior Tune, making it happen. Johnny Boy, let's go. And Julio Los. Let's start at this end, man. So, dude, I don't even know what to say. Like I was kind of like, I caught myself, and I was upset because you guys were doing such great stuff, but you do it so consistently that it's like come to expect like this happening all the time. I come to expect you guys half a car from each other, 4 deep. All right, so when you guys actually decided to run 4 cars, I mean, was there much of a decision there, or is like, no, this is the squad, let's make it happen? Julio, go to you.
Oh, no, this is what we do on the daily. If you come to an open drift and we're all there, this is what it looks like.
Just run it at least 4 deep all the time, right? All right, so we'll move over. I asked a question to Julio. Now I'm going to interject myself right here. So, John, man, I mean, so the liveries happened. This is the first event that I've seen them, right? This is the first event with them. So whose idea was that, and who made that happen on these cars?
Yeah, Nick made it happen. Where you at? Nick!
That boy! I mean, we don't need a yeah. You know what? Come up here. Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick. Repping the squad. So Nick made it happen. So if you want to name names, it's Nick making it happen, making these cars look good. And I mean, when you look good, did you feel better?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like a different car.
It's like a whole different car.
Yeah,
huh?
that's the coolest mouse out there.
That's right, baby. Looking sick as hell out there, trying to drop F-bombs, but catching myself before the Red Bull takes hold of me. So now I'm next to Junior here. Junior was the caboose out there. So I also made a comment up there that I'm like, man, these guys all have different colors with their liveries. I really wish that the LEDs, the underglow, match the colors. Did that word get to you guys, or did you guys step out of the car and go, damn, what are we doing?
No, we got the word for sure, and so we made the adjustment.
Hey, you know what? It was the proper adjustment. It's what I like to see. Now we'll go all the way down here. We'll hit John Daniel. And man, are you getting sick of stepping up on this podium or what?
Yeah, just a little bit. I want to go home.
Just a little bit. He wants to go home, but you know what? Hey, you're going home with a whole lot of hardware. The whole team's going home with hardware. Nick, sick job on the liveries, dude. I'm loving the look on there. Hey, give him one more round of applause because I'm tired too. It's the Goon Squad taking home the Team Tandem competition here. Let's leave them up there. Let's get the photo op going.
Oh, Goon Squad living large there at the very end. Very cool. Our third and final drifting event of the year here on Home Track Heroes. And Ben White drifting something we do at Evergreen Speedway for some big shows of the year. But Sunday afternoons over the course of the year, there's a lot of drift events, a lot of chance for guys to come out and see what the sport's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow us on our social media outlets, EVG_drift or Evergreen Drift on Facebook. Check the schedule. There's posts there constantly. We got the open drifts, but next up, coming up, we're not done with our competitions as far as drifting goes this year. On October 14th, we have our Formula Drift licensing event. So that should be a real fun one. All these guys trying to take the next step, trying to become professional drifters. They're all going to be there, and they're all going to be competing for a Formula Drift Pro Spec license.
Next week is Road X here on Home Track Heroes. Hornets, Legends, Stingers, Buses, and Youth Hornets all going on courses that they normally don't run on. Thank you so much for being here. You are?
Danger Ben White.
Destroy all tires.
Keep the pedal to the metal.
All right, we'll see you next week here on Home Track Heroes. Caleb Hart, good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.